I'm going to read The Prince and the Pauper written by Mark Twain. So, while I'm reading, I realized Mark Twain is a great writer. Anyways, he wrote long stories. Not easy to write books like novels, in which plenty of stories considering many plots and characters work. So quite interesting. Now I'm going to read chapter 21 and 22. Hugo 21, and on to the rescue. So I found it's better to read in low voice. Uh, okay. The old man cried away, stooping stealthy, cat-like, and brought a low bench. He seated himself upon it, half his body in the dim and then flickering light, and the other half in shadow, and so, with his craving eyes, bent upon the slumbering boy. He kept his patient vigils there, his wrists of the drift of time, so flew at his knife and noble and cheerful in aspect and attitude. He resembled nothing so much as a greasy, monstrous spider gloating over some helpless insect that lay bound and helpless in his web. After a long while, the old man, who was still gazing, and now seeing his mind is having settled into dreamy abstractions, observed, uncertain that the boy's eyes were open, wide open and staring out in frozen horror at the night. The smile of the gratified devil crept over the old man's face, then he said, without changing his attitude or his occupation, "Son of hand me the eighth, and do play it." The boy struggled helplessly in his bounds, and at the same time first some other that sounded through his closed jaws. But the hermit chose to interpret as an affirmative answer to his question, then pray again and pray the prayer for the time. A terror shook the boy's frames, and his face blanched. Then he struggled again to free himself, turning and twisting himself this way and that, tugging frantically, fiercely, desperately, but vigorously to burst his fetters. And all the while the old ogre smiled down upon him, and nodded his head, and presses whetted his knife, and bubbling, and from time to time, the murmur of precious and the other few precious prayers for dying. The boy uttered a desperate groan, and ceased from his struggles, panting. Tears came then trickled one after the other down his face, but despite the sight sorrow, and softening the effect upon the savage old man. The dawn was coming now. The hermit observed it, and spoke up sharply, with a touch of nervous apprehension in his voice. "I may not indulge this extra longer, and all it is already gone. This isn't but a moment or news a moment. Would it had endured a year?" Neither of the church's spoilers closed the perishing eyes on those pure wrists to look upon. The rest was lost in inarticulate muttering. The old man sank upon his knees, his knife in his hand, and bent himself over the mourning boys. Hark! There was a sound of the voice near the cabin. The knife dropped from the son's hand. He cast the sheepskin over the boy, and they stopped after trembling. The sound increased, and presently the voice became rough and angry, and then they came blows and cries for help, and then a collective swift footsteps, and retreating immediately came a succession of thunderings knock upon the cabin doors, followed by "Hulu!" Open and the dispatcher, and in the name of all the devils. On this was the blessed sound, and had ever made music in the king's ears then, for it was Miles Hendon's voice. The hermit, grinding his teeth in important rage, moved swiftly out of the bedchamber, closing the doors behind him, and straightway the king heard a talk to this effect proceeding and from the chapel, homage and greetings, reverend sir. Where is the boy? Am I boy? What boy? Friend. What boy? Rhyme in no eyes, Sir Priest, and apply me no deceptions. are not in the humorous afraid. Near to this place I caught the scoundrels who I judged I did choose hint from me, and I made them confess that they would larger again, and they had tracked him to your door. They showed me his very footprints, now hot almost for you and holy church, and the fruitest him, not the worst boy. August 1st, peradventure, you mean legged through leggers and barren that and thoroughly here the night, if such as you take interest in such he knows then, and I have sent him on an errand. He will be back announced. How soon can the waste not at times can I will take him and how soon will be back. Though needn't not first and he will return quickly. So we dance. I'll try to wait another stop and then you send him on an errand. You do realize this is a ride you would not go. He would fool your old beard and then do this is to offer him in such an insolence. Those has lied his friend and those has truly lied. He would not go for the not for any man, for any man knows to happen to but I'm not a man. What? Never is the God's name is the what I do then. It's a secret mark those read not. I'm an archangel. There was tremendous the ejaculations from the mouth and not altogether the unprofane to follow back. This does well truly account for his comparisons right words that I knew then he would purchase. Now that not northward in the manual service of animal car and but road even a king must obey the when archangels give the word command. Well, let me see. So what noise was that? All this while the little kings had been under often creating with terror and trembling with hope, and all the while too he had thrown all the strength he could into his anguished moanings and constantly expecting them to reach and nearest, but always realizing with the bitterness that they failed or at least made no impression. So this last remark of this he says a servant came as come as a reviving express from the fresh fields to the dying. And he exerted himself once more and released all his energy. Just as the hermit was saying, "Mood, I heard only the wind. Mayhap it was. Yes, doctors, that was it. I've been hearing it faintly all the there it is again. Was not the wind? What an old sound come, all hung out." Now the king's joy was nearly insupportable. He tied lungs did their utmost and hopefully to spot the shield George and the mufflings, the sheepskins and saddles clipped and the effort. And the fool's fellow's heart sank to hear the hum say, I came from without I think upon the corpse the yonders come already the way. The king heard to pass out and talking her, there's the footsteps and die quickly away then he was alone through this brooding awful silence. It seems an age still he heard the steps and voices approaching again, and this time he heard them added sounds, the trampling of hoofs and apparently then he heard the headlands and says, I'll not wait longer, so I can not wait longer. Had lost his waist in this thick wood to which direction took him and quick pointed out to me. If you wait, I'll go with thee, and good, and why truly those art better than the roofs. Married, I do not think that there is not another strangers to within so widest heart and signs would ride, would take the weeds down the rest for my body, or the which those books, the holy legs, however. This year's conditions level to meal that I have provided for myself had been treated into and had caused by the indifference of the months on his breast falling let us think out of work, no idea a mirror, and then with blindness I am sure some mind's own feet and the woodwork. Then freeze mind a little beast upon me while I take my life in my hand. Make what success I made toward mounting the big one. Then followed a confusion of kick and cough and trembling and prayings, accompanied by a thunderous intermingling of the borrowed clothes, and finally the bitter opposite to the mule, which must have broken its spirit, for hopefully it seemed to cease from that moment. With unutterable miseries that the fat little kings heard a voice and the footsteps fade away, and out of the pursuit, and him announced for a moment though despair settled down upon his heart, and my only friend deceived the scarlet of it. And he said, the hermits will return, and he finished with a gasp. At once, the felt struggling so frantically with his bonds again. He shook off the smothering sheepskins, and now to hear the doors open, the sound chilled him to the marrow. He seemed to feel a knife at his throat. Horror made him close his eyes, and horror made him open them again, and before him stood John Canty and Hugo. He would have said, thank God, if his jaws had been free. A moment or two later, his limbs were at liberty, and his captors, which could pinch him by an arm, were hurrying teams with all speed through the forest. Chapter 22, A Victim of Treachery. Once more, King Hugo the Fur was roving with tribes and outlaws about. For there's the crows just and then were those witches letters, and sometimes the victim of the smallest fight finished at the hands of the Canty and Hugo. When the first back was turned, none but Canty and Hugo really disliked him. Somebody others liked him, and all admired his flock and speech. During 2 or 3 days, Hugo, in whose word and the child to king word, did what he covertly could to make the boys uncomfortable at night. During the customary orgies, he amused the companies by putting small indignities upon him always, and then as if by accident twice. He stepped upon the king's toes accidentally, and the king, as the king's loyalty was contemptuously unconscious of it and indifferent to it. About the third time Hugo entertained himself in the way, the king fell him to the ground with the closure, and to the prodigious delight of the tribe, Hugo, consumed with anger and shame, sprang up, seized the accuser, and came at his small adversary in a fury. Instantly a ring was formed around the gladiators. The batting and cheering began, but poor Hugo chose no chance whatever. As frantic and lovers frantic work found a force marked for himself, and when fit against an arm which had been trained by the first master of Europe in single strict quarter step, and never a trick of swordsmanship, the little king stood, aroused but at gracefully easy, cold and turned aside a thick rain of blows with speciality, and besides, which set them more to his onlookers the while with admiration, and every now and then in his practice I detected some openings and a loitering a lot upon the sugars the had followed. As a result, the storm of truth and the laughter that swept and the press was something wonderful to hear. At the end of 15 minutes, Hugo all batters the bruised and the targets for futurist bombardment of late Philip's length from field, and unscathed I heard the fight was seed and the bones aloft upon the shoulder of the joyous level, and to the place of honor beside the loveliest where the vast ceremony was crowded around the king of the game's crops, and his manners out hardest things at the same time, so is the cancelled and unruled and degree of the banishment from the gang pronounced again, and who should dance the first and third. Or attempt to make the king subservient to the truth had failed. He had stubbornly refused to act. Moreover, he was always trying to escape. He had been thrust into his unwatched kitchen. The first day of his return, he not only came forth empty-handed, but tried to lose, and the housemaid, who was sent out with his tinker, and help him at his work, he will not work. Moreover, he threatened the tinker with his own soldering iron, and finally both Hugo and the tinkers found their hand full with the merest matter of the keeping his from getting away. He delivered the thunders of his authority upon the head of the old, who hampered his liberties, or tried to force him to service. He was sent out in Hugo's charge, in company with his Latin woman and a diseased baby and a bag, but the result was not encouraging. So he declined to plead for the Americans. or be at party to their cousin anyway. Then several days went by, and the middle of this trampling life and the weariness and certainties and meanness and vulgarity of it became gradually and steadily so intolerable to the captive that he began at last to feel that his release from the hermit's life must prove only a temporary respite from death at best. When at night his dreams and these things were forgotten, he was only thrown and the master again. Then this would of course intensify the suffering of the weakness or the mortification of each succeeding morning of the few and the past, and between this return to bondage and the combat with Hugo grew bitter, and harder to bear. The morning after that combat, Hugo got up with her heart filled with the vengeful purpose against the king. He had two friends in particular. One was to inflict upon the lad, and what would be, and to his proud spirit imagined the loyalty of feckless humiliation. And if he failed to accomplish this, his other friend was to put a crime of some kind upon the king, and then placed him into the impeccable clutches of the law. In pursuance of the first friend, he prefers to put a crime upon the king's leg, lightly judging that would mortify him to the last and perfect duty. As soon as the crimes they should operate, he meant to get county staff and force the king to expose his leg in highways back for crimes and crimes. The words can't turn for towards an artificial cricket to make crimes the operate and matters fast and a poor twist of unselect line, so and rest of all iron spread up on a piece of letters, which was then bound tightly upon the leg. This was presented the part of skins and make it the fleshier and an angry looking blood was then loaded upon the limb, which being the fully dried, took on a dark and repulsive color. And then a bandages of solid rope legs and was put on it in a cleverly carried, which would allow the highest ulcers to be seen and move the compassions of the passerby. Hugo was the help of the tinker whom the king had covered with the soldering iron. They took the boy out of the tinkering camp, and as soon as they were out of sight of the camp, they threw him down, and the tinker held him while he was bound and the portress tied and pressed upon his leg. The king raged and stormed and promised to hang the two the moment of the suture was in his hand again, but they carried firm grip and upon him and enjoyed his important scrubbing and jeer at first. This continued until the portress began to bite, and in no long time his work would have been perfected if there had been no interruption about the words poured about. This time the slave who had made the speech in denouncing England's law and the pure and obscene and the foreign to the enterprise, stripped of the fortress and bandage. The king wanted to borrow his words the cudgel and warm the jackets of the two rascals of the spot, but the man said no. It would bring trouble. Leave the matter till night. The whole tribe is being together, and then the outside world will not venture to interfere in his heart. In March, the party is back to camp and report the affairs of the Lafleur, who listened, pondered, and then decided that the king should not be against instead to beg. Since it was plain he was worthy of something higher and better were forth. On the spot, he prompted him from the American to Langton, appointed him to stay. Hugo was overjoyed that he had already tried to make and the king's choose and fail when there would be no more trouble of that sort. Now, for of course, the king would not dream of defying a distinct command delivered directly from headquarters. So he planned late for that very afternoon, proposing to get the kings in the lowest grip in the course of it. With such ingenious strategies that it should seem to be accidental and unintentional. But the king of the games cox was popular now, and this game might not be used of the gentlest with his unpopular member who plays the serious and treachery upon him as delivering him over to the common enemies to law. Very well. Owing betimes he was stored up to the neighboring bridge with his prey, and the two rose up and down and one street after another. The one watching sharply for sure and chanced to achieve his evil purpose, and the other watching as sharply for chance to dart away and get rid of his infamous captivity forever. Both stories some thoroughly pair, looking optimistic for growth in their secret hearts, were resolved to make absolutely sure this time, and neither meant to allow his feeble desire to seduce him into an adventure that had much uncertain about it. Hugo's chance came first, and for last a woman approached who carried a fat package of some sort in a basket. Hugo's eyes sparkled with the sinful pleasures, and he said to himself, "The price of my life, and I can't but put that upon him." I did good then, and then God keep the king of the gamecocks. He waited, watched outward patient, burning with just consuming with excitement. Till the woman had passed by, the time was right. Then said in a low voice, "Tired will I come again." But the darted swiftly up to pray. The king's heart was filled with his joy he could make his escape. Now if he was there, quest only carried him far enough away. But it was to have no such luck. Hugo crept behind the woman and stretched his package and then came running back and wrapping it in an old fish of blanket which he carried on his arm. The hue and cry was laid in a moment by the woman, who knew that her lost by the lightness of her burden, although she had not since the fifth falling down. So Hugo thrust the bundle into the king's hands without halting, saying, "Now, speedy after me with the last," and cried, "Stop thief, and but mind to lead them astray." The next moment, Hugo turned his corner and darted down a crooked alley, and in another moment or two he launched into its view again, looking indifferent, and took upon a position behind a post to watch it. When he searched the king through the bundles of the ground, and the blanket fell away from it, and just as the woman arrived with his argument and then crowded at her heels, she seized the king's wrist with one hand and stretched up on her bundles with the others, and began to pour out a torture and abuse upon the boy, for he struggled without success to free himself from her grip. Hugo had seen enough to his enemies was captured and low, and then would get him, and now so he slipped away, jubilant and chuckling, and then went to the campfort, planning the judicious version of the matter to give the luckless crews as he saw. The king came to his struggles in the woman's throne, grasped now and then, cried out in vexations, on hand. Those foolish creatures, it was not I had believed, they of the pottery goods. The crowd closed around, threatening the king, and calling him names of Brownie blacksmith in leather apron, and the slaves lord to his elbows, and made it rich for him, saying he would trounce him well for lesson, but just then a long sword flashed in the air, and powered his convincing force upon the man's arm, and flapped side down, and fantastic honor of it, making presently at the same time the merry good souls, let's approach it gently, not with evil blood and uncharitable word. This is matters for the laws of consideration, not private and unofficial handlings. Lose the whole from the boy's life, and the blacksmith averaged the stalwart and soldiers with a glance, and then, when muttering of his loving psalms, and the woman released the voice whisked the country, the crowd eyed and the stranger unloving but prudently closed their mouth. The king sprang to his deliverer's side with flushed cheeks and sparkling eyes, exclaiming, "There, harsh delaying souls, the battles comes in season now, serves the minds, count me disraveled rags." The end. Yeah, and then the king, the prince, Edward, not smart. Anyway, then